taking a trip around the pages of the papers across the country today, and later on in the course of the program, we will come back to look at some of the stories in details. And during the second half of the show, that's when we will unveil our in-house analyst. Is already in the studio, Mr. Salman Salami. Let's even say hello to Salami. Good morning, Mr. Salman.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence Umuiti.
Yes, Mr. Salman Salami is the Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM, and we will get back to him in the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, let's look at what the papers are saying across board. We start with the Guardian newspaper, and it says, War against corruption, where anti-graft ego turns a blind eye to sacred cows. And we also have this, Shetima Kalu Abiodo decry rising population of uneducated kids, urge action. And also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, reps kick against multiple tax burden on Nigerians. NFIU laments weapon inflow from Lebanon. Fubara heads to Supreme Court as appeal court recognizes pro-Wike lawmakers. And Nigeria can now trace criminals as NCC claims NIN-SIM linkage completion. And that's good news. Kalu canvasses better deal for 24 million visually impaired citizens. Kalu is the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Edo governorship polls in search of a flood local government council polls. Nigerian aviation industry to unveil latest jet fuel depot. And UNICEF says 75% of new HIV infections among adolescents occur in girls. NNPC pledges to foster peace in Niger Delta. Minister to step down for essay competition winner today. Federal government issues TSA exemption guidelines for research grants. And school leavers to get mandatory vocational skills. This is coming from the Minister of Education. Army arrests suspected bandits, terrorist logistics supplier in Taraba State. And Sanwo-Olu advocates making agric attractive, sustainable for youths. Teacher arrested in Imo State for allegedly assaulting stepdaughter. And on the sports story today, Guavon sure of victory as Eagles prey on the Libyan national team. Nigeria loses 3 trillion naira yearly to poor waste recovery in food industry. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper, and it leads with the story, petrol price hike, Ipman tackles NNPCL, threatens to stop operations. And Court of Appeal did not reinstate Amawule, 26 others. This is from the River State government. And breaking, according to PDP, the Punch newspaper, PDP suspends spokesman, legal advisor. And there's another counter to that. PDP faction suspends national chairman, Damagun, and secretary. Okay. And why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo. This is according to the defense headquarters. And Nolge threatens suit over governor's bill to control local government funds. And the Tribune newspaper is next. Appeal Court voids Rivers 2024 budget, recognizes Amaule as Speaker. Women no longer need husband's approval letter for visa clearance. PDP Board of Trustees demands urgent NEC meeting to address internal conflicts. Okay, we move on to the Nation newspaper now. Fubara must take budget to Amaule-led house. This is according to the Court of Appeal. That's how the Nation newspaper puts that story. And marketers sell petrol at different prices in deregulated market. At 90, I am prepared for my death. Who is saying this? The Kogi himself, talking about Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. 125 CNG conversion centers activated across states. The leadership newspaper is next now. Rivers crisis. Appeal court accuses Fubara of executive recklessness. All right, we move on to this day newspaper. And this day leads with the story: Fubara in jeopardy as appeal court nullifies 2024 Rivers budget. And still staying with this day, a child out of school today is a serious threat to nation tomorrow. This is according to Vice President Shettima. Petrol price. In change of style, Akpabio asks Nigerians to reduce number of cars they own. Okay. And Shettima to headline Nigeria's upcoming Zuma Film Festival. And Namandi says good governance crucial for economic stability. National Assembly may overrule NCAA over minimum aircraft for commercial operations. Experts point way forward for insurance pension sector's contribution to $1 trillion economy. Okay, those are the headlines from across the papers. We'll take a short break, and when we return, Mr. Salmo Salami will be on hand to help us make sense of some of the stories on the papers today. It's still Citizen FM 93.7 FM here in Abuja. Please don't go away. We will be back in a moment. Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Citizen FM 93.7 here in Abuja. And welcome to the second half of the show where we look at some of the stories in details. And also the phone lines are open. You can join us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. You can also call us on 0818 2222206. And we start off with this day newspaper, and this day is leading with the River story, which is in virtually all the papers today, and it says Fubara in jeopardy as appeal court nullifies 2024 Rivers budget. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara might have walked into great danger as the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal yesterday upheld the judgment of a federal high court which voided the River State 2024 budget passed by 5 members of the State House of Assembly. Although the judgment was silent on the fate of the Martins and more led 27 members of the House of Assembly, the state government has also clarified that the judgment did not reinstate the embattled lawmaker by any stretch of imagination. With the latest development, which seemed to have handed the Martins and Moewele-led faction some subtle legitimacy, the travails of Fubara might have started afresh, as the lawmakers are likely to toy again with the idea of impeachment. Mr. Salami.
Rivers of crisis, so to speak, in a way. River State has been in the eye of the storm in the last few weeks, if not months. This is not good for democracy, but this is not why I'm here today. Why I'm here and what is posed to me is to analyze the judgment of the Court of Appeal as it affects the budget of River State. Since yesterday, the newspaper, the media space is awash with different interpretation of the judgment. The Attorney General of River State has said that by any stretch of imagination, and I'm quoting him, there is nothing to say that the 27 members of the House of Assembly of River State have been given the nod. What exactly do I mean? That the judgment did not say that unless and until the 27 members have their say, that the judgment, that the budget is null and void. That is his own interpretation. That all the court said was that the budget as passed by the 5 factions, 5 members of the faction loyal to the governor, is not all right. Well, as expected, Governor Fubara has done what he has the right to do, right of appeal. He has appealed to the Supreme Court, and that is the final bus stop. While we are waiting to hear the judgment from the appeal, from the justices of the court, of the Supreme Court, which is the apex court in the land, let us stretch our imagination. What portends, or what can we as laymen say is the consequence of that judgment? If we may speculate, which is in the realm of speculative journalism, it sure means that financially, River State will be imperiled. What do I mean? It means there is no appropriation now as we speak. There is no money from which the governor can take and spend on the state. If he does that, it's what I call a misappropriation of fund. Because the money as it is has not been appropriated by a legitimately constituted House of Assembly. That is it. 2, if 5 members who are loyal to you has no right, 5 members have no right to appropriate, it only means by our own stretch of imagination, not necessarily by our legal acumen, that the 27 members must participate. If they must participate, it only means again that they are bona fide members of
the house.
And since they are in majority and they are not for you, then your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, all right, Mr. Salami, I like your analysis, and I also read the statement of the Attorney General. But my question, the judgment of the lower court and appeal. So that means that judgment at the lower court was not favorable to them, and they appeal, just like they are appealing this now to the Supreme Court. So just like you said, it's going to be very interesting to see how this works out, assuming that the Supreme Court stays with this and also affirms this without the resolution of the other part of the case, that is the legitimacy of the Amaule-led faction as members. What will be the situation of the law? If the Supreme Court says, no, Mr. Governor, you erred by presenting this budget to a 5-man faction, what will be the response of the Rivers State government? But as we said, it's still in the realm of speculation. Let's say it's going to be very interesting in this to come. And as usual, we are going to have a lot of interpretation, mostly depending on our interests and biases. And that's how we are going to look at this, especially from the angle of politicians. But still talking about politics, Mr. Salami, let's look at the story from the Senate. Akpabio urges reforms as Senate flays flawed local council polls. The Senate has condemned the local council election conducted in several states, labeling them as serious breach of democratic principles, following a motion by Senator Abba Moro on the problematic elections held on October the 5th, particularly in Benue State. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, called for reforms in the local council system. Meanwhile, the Akin Alabi, that's Honorable Akin Alabi, representing Gbeda constituency in Oyo State, has presented a bill for the House to allow the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct local council elections. Moro criticized the election for being tainted with manipulation, adding that many were effectively held in the homes of ruling party leaders, turning the process into a mere selection. Salami.
Turning the process into a mere selection. That is Abba Moro from Benue State. You see, Lawrence, I do not really understand how this
Okay,
is panning
Mr. Salami, just a moment. I think we have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Citizen FM.
Good morning, sir. Daniel.
Good morning to you, Mr. Lawrence.
Yes, is that Daniel?
No, this is Dr. Olajide.
Okay, Dr. Olajide, it's been a while. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir. My sincere regards to our resource woman and
Yes,
behind the mic.
Mr. Salami.
All listeners and callers in and around Abuja. Dr. Olajide from Use, please.
All right, please go ahead.
I think something practical and urgent needs to be done concerning state government affairs. I do say it at any forum or at any platform I have the opportunity. The rot we have, or the slow pace of development we have in Nigeria is being caused by states. Because that is where the bulk of governance is. Then you can see the governors, they are like lords. Look at what happened in Edo today. See, for good 8 years, Edo has only 10 also. If they were increased to, people have to defend. Before they are 3. For 4 years, they have 3. In the second term, another 720 out of 24. If such is done at federal level, we Nigerians keep quiet. As we speak, in Plateau State, the APC legislations have not been sworn in. Just the government decided that we will not do it. Across all the states, that is what the government does. They don't pay salary, they don't, no project, no anything. And no gospel is going there. On elections, look at the way local government election went throughout the nation. No election, government will just strike the name of people and they will declare them the winner. If INEC does that at national level, will Nigeria remain the way we are today? I think the government of today, of the day, at federal level and National Assembly have as a matter of urgency to quickly pass law to remove the conduct of local government election from governors. Let there be independent body. It might be even proper they create that office, local government conduction election agency, or the INEC now. If not, that is why development is scarce at the grassroots. The local government are not allowed to function. Look at FCT. Teachers on strike. And we continue to see it. And I don't blame the governor. So simply we have failed. Where are we supposed to look up to? We didn't look up to it. All our attention, both the nation, everything is at federal. Nobody talk about the state. Nobody talk about the local government. Look at the petrol problem we have. The federal government give $5 billion to each state to push it the Fed. Mr. Lawrence, can you tell me any government that have come out to say the $5 billion, this is what I use it for? Rights were given to them. Can you show me the government that's okay? The right we collected from the federal government. This is how we make use of it. The same thing at local government level. And that is why we have this problem we have. Until the state is brought back to the way it's supposed to be, especially the governors, they are not involved. They should allow the state legislature to work because they are representatives of their people. God bless you people. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for calling, man. Thank you. You can still join the conversation. The numbers to call 0903 2229 797. You can also call us on 0818 2222 205. You can also call us on 0818 2222 206. Okay, we have another caller here, Mr. Salam.
Hey, Mr. Tijani. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Tijani. Thank you for calling.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
My name is Abayomi. I'm calling from Gariki. Good morning, sir.
Abayomi, thank you so much for your call. Please go ahead.
Sir, I want to ask one question before I go ahead.
Okay.
Who has the right to, if the House of Members become to another party, who has the right to impeach them, to declare them that illegal? Is it the governor or the people?
No, it's the speaker. The law vests that power on the speaker. The speaker will write. The speaker will write to INEC, notifying INEC that the seat is vacant after all the other processes have been concluded.
Thank you, sir. It's like they're taking on, Rivers State are taking on back to the story my dad once told me about the 2 tours that they do. Now, what am I trying to say now is that, look at this, the governor now, it's just like what Doctor just said now. A lot of, that's one of the reasons I love your station. If I tell you I don't listen to any station, okay, you will not believe, sir.
Yeah.
A lot.
Thank you so much for that.
I was listening to one station in Abuja. He was telling that it's president. Look, I keep on saying it. When we are growing up, we know there's something that local governments are doing. All our efforts is on president, the governors, and we forget that they are the emperor. Now, look at what is happening in Rivers State now. See Anthony General now. He has turned himself to Andoka. former chief judge. Now you are saying this thing that they did not say. But you know the right is the camp. And now can you be telling us that the fact is better than 22? This is another story. And I was listening to one of the newspapers and they said the judgment, the law is not by might. There was saying the same thing just because when they were presidential election. Please, our people need to learn more about this process. When you say even after yesterday, I was listening to that when people in Baltimore, they are Michigan, they are complaining that the election was in the U.S. election that they should not see their vote. All the system had the vote, but the youth now, your station should help us do more.
All
the way
right.
the labor will take, they should focus on the youth. We don't know about governance. We don't talk all the federal president. Each one country will not work like that. Even after the country will want to be like them. They are the
all right.
Is that not so, sir? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, my brother. We really appreciate your call. Always calling. We're trying our best as a radio station, but also citizens, young people like you also should also not give up on Nigeria. Ask the necessary question. Be inquisitive about what happens in your environment. Your leaders at the local level, at the state level, ask the necessary questions. And if everyone does this, then the country will move forward. Thank you so much for calling. Yes, it's still Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. You can join the conversation 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 and 0818 2222206. Mr. Salami, a lot to talk about, but first, I want you to conclude your thoughts on the local government elections that the senators were raising eyebrow about.
Yes, I think there is the need for us to have a rethink on how local government elections should be conducted. In actual fact, there is a need to have a holistic look at what is going on at the local government level. This is very necessary. Very, very necessary. Simply because it has become a winner takes all kind of a thing. In every state, in almost every state, if APC is in power in the state, you can almost be sure that all the local government elections that will be conducted in that state will go the way of the ruling party, ditto the PDP. And this cannot in any way, not by any stretch of imagination, be said to be the reflection of what is on ground. It is not so. That's why we are saying that there is a need for us to have a rethink on how elections should be conducted at the grassroots.
Exactly, Mr. Salami, because but for me, I find it a little bit ironical that the senators are the ones raising these issues. And if you look at the people who spoke on the floor of the Senate, some of them were former governors. And the question you asked during that tenure, what happened? Was there a difference in the conduct of local government election? And besides, during the local government election, depending on which side of the divide you are in the state, and most of them contribute to these elections in their state. They all want to deliver their local government, their constituency, and at the end of the day. So who is going to bail the cat?
No, you see, I see it differently. The fact that they did wrong while they were there, and they have just realized.
Have they?
I want
or
to
they are
believe
just
so.
on the other side for now?
I want to believe that it was because they lost. Abarumoru lost. Akpabio lost, as it were. So, you see, even at that, from losing, we may get good things. Yes, I'm saying. The important thing is this. Let us do it right. The way it is now, we are not doing it right. We are not getting it right. And I want to believe that it has a lot to do with the party organization. Because at the end of the day, you discover that not all parties should be or give the impression that they are national parties. Some parties may just be a local one. What do I mean by that? Your catchment area may be your local government. and you hold tenaciously
to that.
to that. And if you are doing very, very well, you may expand from having just one local government to having two, to having three. And before you know it, you may capture the state. But it starts with proper organization. You should know your limit. You should know your
capacity.
Your capacity and the comparative advantage you have. Because to pretend that all the parties as registered by INEC are national in outlook, then we are deceiving ourselves.
Exactly. And in fact, Mr. Salam, there's nothing even wrong in being a local champion. There's nothing wrong in being strong in just one local government for 10 years, 20 years. That's all you do, because that's your focus. You're interested in how do you change the fortunes of that local government. You're not interested in capturing the state and everything. So that's how it should be. But back to the issue. So what is the solution? How do we get to a point where local government? We have a call. Okay, the thing has gone off. Okay, you can still call us on 0903 2229797 or 0818-2222-205. You can also call us on 0818-2222-206. In that story also, there are some moves, especially in the House of Reps, to maybe tinker with the Constitution to give INEC the opportunity of conducting the local government election. Will this be a solution? Okay, I think we have a caller here. Let's take this call first. Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Mr. Lawrence, Dr. Olajide calling back.
Okay.
Mr. Salami has said it all. Just like the call after me. 7th is when we were in primary school. All everything needed, education, everything is being done at local government level. I could remember Independence Day, we all gather in one big primary school under local government. Every primary school within that local government, we assemble there. Every this holiday, state government at that time. All the government, street road is being done by local government. If we have any issue, we move quickly to local government. People are taking contract of building booths, of doing everything local government. But today, and you know why the government don't want it to survive? Just like our sources man said, if one local government, one party does well in local government, the government is in trouble. That is their fear. That is their fear. Because if a local government chairman have direct access to that humongous money coming now, you will see the rate of development. And you know what? When they see that somebody is doing well, people will tend looking towards that person. That is the fear of governors. And because they lack performance, because if you are doing well at state level, no matter the party at local government, they won't be able to suppress you because you have tentacle toward your local government. By the time you are doing what you do the other day, but because of greediness, that's why you see them, they go away with the money. They don't want anybody to challenge them. And we have to rise up, especially on this issue of local government autonomy. That's why the governor don't want them to have the autonomy. If once they have it, the governors are powerless. And once they have it, we the masses, there will be freedom for us in terms of development. That is why at all fora I used to say it. Let our focus be on state and local government. Look at Abuja, we are talking of South. Look at, we have 6 local area council. Has any one of them open conversion of vehicle to CNG? Has any of local government provide 2 or 3 buses there? With this level of high transportation, let our local government use this to support. Have we seen anyone in any state? That is what we are saying. God bless you people. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olajide, for your call. Thank you so much. Mr. Salami, you were trying to make your points still on this local government issue.
Lawrence, I am not a soothsayer, neither am I a naysayer or prophet of doom. But development, real development that will be felt by the people, should happen or must happen at the grassroots level. That is the government nearest
to the people.
And that is when people could feel or will feel government. And do you know there will be no need to come to Abuja to talk about the federal government, or to even feel that without the federal you cannot know what governance is all about. No, it is wrong. In actual fact, I think it is the local government that should relieve the state and the federal government of some burden can be provided at the local government level. Will you bother to come to the state? Will there be any need for you to know who your minister is or who your governor is? Or the focus on the federal level, let us extend same to the state and the local government. If we hold the state and the local government accountable, then we will see development. And the emperors, quote and unquote, that we mistakenly call governors, are doing what they are doing because of the humongous amount of money that is available to the local government, coupled with the autonomy given to the local government by the Supreme Court.
So you are about to address the other angle. Should INEC now conduct local government election?
Well, I think INEC as it is today has more than enough meat to chew. So there is the need for us to rethink the way elections are conducted at the local government level. And I would rather urge that we have a robust conversation, national conversation around that. No doubt about it, there is a problem. There is a big problem, as shown by what has happened in the states during the charade called election.
Exactly, I agree with you, Mr. Salami. It's something that we need to take a holistic look at it, but I'm always wondering how this, in practical terms, could be resolved. But as you said, it's a running story that we will continue to talk about. So let's move on to some other stories, Mr. Salami, and we stay with this. Let's see. Okay, this day newspaper says a child out of school today is serious threat to nation tomorrow, says Shettima. Vice President Kashim Shettima stressed the urgent need for girl-child education in the country, warning that the child out of school today would become a threat to the nation tomorrow. The Vice President spoke in Abuja at the inaugural International Conference on Girl-Child Education organized by the Nigerian Governors Forum in collaboration with River State Government, the World Bank, and the Federal Ministry of Education. Mr. Salami, the Vice President couldn't have put it better.
It's in a better position to say it. He has seen it. In the last 10 or 12 years, I've been working on girl child.
I know, yeah.
The girl child. How do you turn the girl child to a dream child? Anybody whatsoever who is not in school at the school age is a threat to the world, not even to Nigeria. And do you know the number of out of school children we have in this country? And it keeps on increasing. And I've been saying it. Train a girl, you have trained a nation. It is in our interest that we keep our children in school. And if we don't, we should ensure that they learn a skill or a trade. Giving people fish every day will only make them uselessly dependent. Rather, you train them how to fish. There is the need for us to open the doors of the schools wide open. Baba Awolowo said that the children of those people you do not allow to go to school will not allow your own children to sleep. The sage talking. Are we not seeing it today? Will a director go and rob? Will a director be a cultist? Nobody who is educated, robustly educated in the real sense of the word, will engage in vices. Idle hand is whose workshop?
The devil's workshop and the devil's playground. Mrs. Salami, I think sometimes we make issues very complicated in this country. What does it take to keep the girl child in school? Basically, especially from the state governments. What does it take? It's not rocket science. At the end of the day, we seem to know what to do when it comes to your nuclear family. Most of these leaders, they don't have their members of their nuclear family roam the street. They are in school when they are supposed to be in school. And when they are not in school, they are abroad on vacation. They know all the good things of life and they extend it to members of their family. But when it comes to the society, we make it look like it's such a big deal to keep children in school for primary and even secondary schools.
Lawrence, greed is at the root of all this. And besides, this is what we have been saying. It is the responsibility of the state and the local government, not necessarily the responsibility of the federal government to provide schools for children at that level. Are you with me?
Exactly.
But because the state over the years have not been doing what they are expected to do, and in any case, it is the greed of the elite. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. Let me tell you a story. I was privileged to be with one of my friends who was a governor in one of the states. We were at the table. Then he said, Salami, come. See, this is my first son. He graduated from Harvard. This is my daughter. She's a student, medical student in Oxford. This is, and I now, maybe I was not diplomatic. I said, Your Excellency, what was your plan for the Almajiris roaming the street? He said, was that why I invited you to my state? That was the end of our friendship. What am I telling you? They know what is right.
Exactly.
They don't treat their own children that way. And you are a governor of a state, by which means you are to ensure the welfare and well-being of the people of that state. Giving them education. You are not doing them a favor. You are just discharging your duty as a governor. But they think they are doing them a favor, or I don't know what to say of this. Hardly do they allow their children to roam the street. Do you even see their children? Do they even go to school in that state? Many of them are in school in foreign lands.
All of them.
Well, I have not.
Are in schools.
All of them. All of them.
In schools.
All of them. And why will you allow the children of the fetchers of wood and drawers of water to roam the street? And honestly, education is the only leveler. Quite many of us today who are somebody, so to speak, it is because we went to school. If we didn't, I'm not too sure we will be here.
Exactly. And is it, if we attempted to expand the scope of this development, this discussion, apart from even this out-of-school children syndrome, what is our attitude to education as a whole? A nation that can would rather not bat an eyelid if its universities are shut for a year. Such a nation cannot be said to be interested in education by any standard. You cannot, if you have your nuclear family, you're well-to-do, you can afford everything, and then because of one thing or the other, you rather close your eyes and let your children, who are supposed to be in school, be at home for 1 year. Will you be very comfortable with that?
It depends. You can't give what you don't have. If you yourself, you are not educated and you still don't value education, you won't see anything wrong with that. But the world as it is today is knowledge driven. No man who is not robustly educated or has a skill or knows what is going on around him could do any meaningful thing in this present world. You need education. If you are into barbing, if you are educated, the way you will do your barbing will be different.
Exactly.
If you are into fashion designing, no more tailoring. You won't do your own like Surah the tailor.
Exactly.
It only means that education will help you add value to whatever you are doing.
Exactly, Mr. Salami. And talking about adding value to whatever you're doing, education will also make you keep you in a position to make an impact in your society wherever you find yourself. And it's not just to acquire that certificate, it's for you to create an impact for your generation. And that's why we say that our young ones, we need to encourage them, because the world, the way education is today is different from in those days that all you needed to do was to acquire a degree and jobs will be waiting for you. You choose where to go and work, white collar jobs and everything. But today, education is more than that. Education is creating impact, is creativity, is doing so many things at the end of the day, Mr. Salami.
Do you know that it's all about choices? But when you are educated, you make informed choices. And it will change your life.
And you ask the necessary questions.
Of course.
And you question the status quo.
How will you take a local government chairman to task if you are not educated? Do you even have the guts to get close to him?
All right, Mr. Salami, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. But before we go, Mr. Salami, today is, the birthday of somebody that I respect so much in the industry, a senior colleague in the industry, talking about Abike Dabiri Erewa. She's 62 today. Beautiful. You still can't believe it. This is somebody who has not only made an impact, a quintessential broadcaster, if you may, a trailblazer in so many ways, and very importantly, kind soul. That's why when she decided to throw in her heart into the ring of partisan politics, some of us watched with cautious optimism. Then it was not very common to see practicing journalists go full-fledged into partisan politics. But she has not only discharged her responsibility with elegance and finesse, she has made politics and, in fact, governance easy. And no scandals, no airs normally associated with leaders. Just a Nigerian who is determined to make her mark in any office she finds herself. I remember from the House of Representatives, where she was a pioneer chairman of the Committee on Diaspora, and up to the founding chairman and CEO of Nigerians in Diaspora. It's been a record of successes for this woman, this Nigerian, who has made an impact. And so we say happy birthday, Honorable Abike Dabiri. 62 sure looks good on you, madam.
She's an Amazon, and she has made us proud.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami, Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. It's always a pleasure to have you. And as the tradition of the show, it's Friday today, and I know that, a delicious breakfast awaits me, courtesy of my boss. And my name is Lawrence Subote. Enjoy the rest of your day.
الشوق طال والقلب سما نحو السماء مترنما لا تنقضي أنت للروح دواء رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان رمضان ليتك دوما قريب فيك الحب زاد عم العباد يا خير زاد رمضان يا شهر القرآن فيك أذوق حلاوة الإيمان لا تنقضي أنت للروح دواء رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان رمضان ليتك دوما قريب كم أهواك يا شهر الصيام أنا لن أنساك فأنت في قلبي دائما تمضي الأيام ودعائي كل عام ربي تقبلنا يا ربي بلغنا رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان رمضان ليتك دوما قريب رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان رمضان ليتك دوما قريب ليتك دوما قريب
Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is your brother Maher Zain. For my latest news and updates, join me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Salam.
You lift me up high, you spread my wings and fly me to the sky. I feel so alive.
واتباعهم صلاة تكرر في كل آن. يا مرحبا بك يا رمضان، يا مرحبا بك يا رمضان، يا مرحبا بك يا رمضان، يا مرحبا بك يا رمضان. أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان، شهر التوبة والغفران. مرحبا بك رمضان، رمضان شهر الذكر والإحسان. أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان، شهر الصيام. أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان، أصوم نهارا وأذكر ربي، أشكر الله أصلي وأدعي، وأدعو الله أن يغفر لي، وأدعو أن يتقبل عملي، وأدعو ربي أن يدخلني جنة الخلد أنا وأحبابي. أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان، شهر التوبة والغفران، ذكري والإحسان. أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان، شهر الصدم يا رمضان، يا رمضان.